Yo, what is going on, boys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today, I have an absolute banger that I'm excited to. I guess I'm going to cast / commentate more so on the Terran side of things. Just a heads up for anybody. So there probably won't be a lot of bias involved in here, but we got a best of 3 TVT against TY and Classic that was just recently played in the GSL qualifiers. And let's just jump right into it here in the top left-hand corner. Our favorite Chin Protoss player, Classic. And in the bottom right, our man who unfortunately didn't qualify for the GSL last season. Actually, he got kind of owned, if I'm being completely honest. But this time around, he was able to make it in there. And he actually had some pretty convincing W's here in the bottom right, TY. And like I mentioned earlier, we're just going to be talking about more stuff from the Terran POV. So I'm just kind of analyzing, I guess, like where TY is at, how he's looking, and now the kind of builds he does. We know he likes to do some crazy stuff, off-meta stuff. So it will be pretty nice to see what he does. And Classic's actually playing very well recently, I think. So, you know, for him to still make it in the qualifiers is pretty crazy. You're going to have Probe come in and just playing single gas shenanigans, pulls 2 workers. This one might be to scout, actually. And we can actually look for where he's sending it. I think he's sending it across the map to kind of see if there's like a green dot somewhere. No. Okay, so he's just going to send it across the map to scout. He goes Marine first. Okay, there we go. So Marine first is the choice for TY. And Classic's playing Core first into that Nexus. Going to be annoying with the probe. So Marine first, that sounds pretty typical. Also, he does this because, just a heads up, and actually I'll pause here to explain. Basically, the reason why you see people do this is because the probe can basically keep denying your base until around 150, 152. If they deny your command center until 152, it's almost guaranteed that they can Chrono Boost the Adept across the map and cancel your SCV, or kill your SCV, I mean, and delay your command center. So for a lot of people, it's worth just building it here now. The CC finishes in time. Sure, you have to lift it. It's a bit of an inconvenience, but it's still a much better scenario than the alternative. The other issue is TY went Marine first, and he doesn't want to reveal it's Marine first. So if he sent down this Marine right now, he could probably just kill the probe, maybe, or would have got this base on location. But then he gives away that fact that he's playing Marine first. So this is why you see this kind of reaction instead. Because you wanna, when you play Marine first, you want to try to hide it. Because Protoss players will play differently if they see you in Marine first, right? Because they don't expect you to have a Reaper. And he's going to go Reactor behind this, which is kind of interesting. He's just going to scout. So, I actually feel like this is something you don't see that much in the meta right now. Like, at the pro level, I feel like I never see people SCV scouting. They'll send the first Reaper across the map, or they'll check for a proxy, but that's kind of it. My man's actually SCV scouting. And because there's no bunker, I'm expecting it to be 2 Marines, so I'll have 3 Marines in total. Just kind of run away here, and looks like 3 command center shenanigans, boys. Yeah, there you go. Wow, look at that. And that's like precise placement, too. Okay, so TY busting out builds that you'd probably expect him to use, actually, literally. And Classic's going to go Stargate, which I think is actually really good for TY. You know, 4K Blink's a bit uncommon on this map because of the main is pretty small and because of this here. So it's a bit easier to defend on this map. A lot of Protoss players actually veto it, who like to play 4K Blink. Classic, maybe not a big 4K Blink player, so he's going to choose to not only play on this map, but he's going to go Stargate on this map instead. Which I feel like is pretty in line with how he likes to play. So I feel like this lines up really well for TY because you don't have to worry about aggression. Right, like besides that first Oracle or maybe Phoenix. So looking pretty good. Busting out some of these Mary builds. Because of a Phoenix. So Phoenix first here for Classic, and that's going to keep being annoying for now. I mean, honestly, he's probably a little bit suspicious of this. Like, this kind of does look like a 3 racks. Although I don't know how likely TY is to play 3 racks, and I also don't know how much he's been playing in-game. So eBay's going to get put down. So this is a pretty clean build. So when you do 3CC like this, is 3CC, 2 barracks, eBay, and then you'll see a 3rd barracks, and then a factory. So it's a little bit different than your traditional like 3CC or 3 racks build. There's some minor tweaks. He's going to build a missile turret, and here he's building the missile turret. I think because he scouted the Stargate. That's true. He actually did scout the Stargate. Phoenixes are going to run by, and Phoenix into Robo. So we know this is going to be a Colossus. Very forward battery there. So Phoenix Colossus is going to be the choice here, which I think makes 3CC build even better. Not to say that you can't do a big timing push against 3CC. builds off of Stargate Colossus opener, but I do think that it's not as strong, and this is actually lining up really well for TY. So, you know, maybe that could have something to do with it, right? Like, it seems like everything's lining up really well for him. You know, whether or not it's on purpose or planned, you know, I don't know, but it does seem like that might be the case, and Marines are going to go. And actually, sorry, real quick, I'm going to lower this because I think it's maybe a little bit too loud later on. Okay, so the Marines are going to move out here, and they're going to swing by. Okay. He has plenty of Marines to deal with the end episodes, so that's fine. They're probably going to cancel. Yep, cancels the Shade. Starts an Immortal, drops the Robo Bay, and it's looking very normal. There's a Factory. Double gas. And bro, it's just macroing hard. Macroing super hard. We're going to get a little bit of supply block here, possibly, after this one depot finishes. Builds a turret. And if you take note of where he builds a missile turret, this is a really nice turret placement because it covers your gases. And with Phoenix play like this, they tend to try to snipe the workers on the gases because they're the ones that are sticking out from the missile turret. So if you put it here, of course, there is a possibility he comes this way and then here. But when they do that, that's far more committed, and they're more likely to lose a Phoenix. Okay, meanwhile, back at home, Classic's adding a couple more gateways, which it actually makes perfect sense because I think he's realizing, he's already scouted now that it was a 3CC kind of build, and he might want to go for a push, a timing push. Obviously, he doesn't have a Twilight Council, so he'd be doing this off Stalker Sentry probably, and really trying to anchor with the Colossus, which is actually fine because beyond just having Stim Pack, he won't have Combat Shields soon, and he's only going to have first 2 medevacs, no Vikings or anything like that, so it actually could work despite not having those what we would consider essential upgrades. And he only built 2 Phoenix, which I think is a bit interesting, but perhaps he would have built more if he would have saw that this was a 1-1-1 opener, but with the 3 racks, or the 3CC 2 racks opener, yeah, there we go. I guess the pylon, he's going to start moving out. Okay, so looks like we were right about that. And, you know, going tank here I think is actually really good. Obviously, the Phoenix can lift the tanks, but the Phoenixes can die really faster than Marines, so the tanks make it possible for TOI to hold against the Colossus. You can see how this Phoenix is being so efficient, so annoying. It's not like building a turret in my production line. I feel like it's so helpful. Okay, so here comes the Colossus, and, you know, if things get dicey, you can always recall. That's a nasty force field. Oh, my right, okay. So we just lose 10 workers here. And this is a really good aggression from Classic. So if you ever wonder how you can abuse this kind of opener, you can do this. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, we do have a double medevac drop. So this actually is going to make things a little bit more even. Now, the thing here is... okay, never mind. I was going to say, well, because there's no blink, you know, TY could leave, which he does. He does leave, right? He doesn't lose anything. But there's a big Stalker Warpin in the main, which actually saved Classic from being abused by the medevacs, which is kind of what I was worried about. Okay, he's going to try to dive in here, but I think this is a mistake. Yeah, the Colossus are just too powerful. Nothing about Marines here. And TY, I feel like he's not really doing a great job of macroing behind this. Okay, there you go. So he starts up 2 Vikings. The tank is stuck. A couple SCVs here. Okay, so he pulls back. It's a lot of idle SCVs. He fixes it up. Drops some mules. Okay, cool. So right now working out pretty well. Classic should probably going to take a fort behind this. He's going to jump Temple Archives. He's probably going to do another timing push, if I'm being completely honest with you. Even with the Prism aside, like, I feel like you want to be hitting here kind of soon before the 3 command center opener kind of starts picking up. Although, honestly, TY, yeah, he's really struggling with the macro here. Double depot, he's supply blocked again. Now building SCVs, right, because he's supply blocked as well. Okay, there you go. Starts with some more SCVs. Tank being stuck. Building placement on this map is kind of a meme because the base is a bit smaller. There you go. Ghost Academy. Ghost Academy missing a little bit. Okay, there you go. A couple of extra SCVs on the gas. So he's a little bit messy. He's not perfect. He's a little bit messy. But like we said, I feel like the build order is lined up really nice for him. And this drop was very good. So you're not looking too shabby. Too shabby here. Okay, Classic's going to go for another push. Like we mentioned earlier, he's going to break down the rocks here. And TY is really missing some map vision. He sends a spotter to check on the 4th, but he doesn't actually have much vision. Here, he puts the Vikings here for the Prism, obviously. But he does nothing in the middle. There's nothing to the side. There's no sensor tower. And this kind of push could be scary, especially if half his army is on the other side of the map, which his tanks are now super exposed. The army comes back, but it'll be at the cost of potentially 2 tanks. Nice warp in there, but this turret actually hitting that Colossus in the back there. And we get a nice concave going. +1 helping here, and TY is going to hold on for now. And that could have been really scary. Had the bio committed farther up over there, those tanks would have just died. And I don't think Classic needs to be super aggressive here. I think he just pull back. But you can see how that map vision is super important, right? Like, if TY hadn't just, like, randomly brought his army back here and had kept it over here, 3 tanks are dead, and I think he just loses there. So a little bit lucky, I think, in my honest opinion. We can start up some more workers here. How many workers do we have? 62 to 73. Oh, it says it down here, doesn't it? Just so you know, I don't do this. That's obviously hallucination. So I think TY's lack of vision is something that we could probably abuse if we're a classic, although he doesn't really recognize that there's no spotters. If you like this, I feel like you put a run by over here. That's also really nice. And I kind of just wait for him to move out. I feel like he wants to do a big move out, so you can see adding 3 ghosts, tank, Vikings, armory, and yeah, just really producing SCVs. He's kind of just done with it for now. I mean, he has a 4th, so eventually he will start those up again. But relatively speaking, like Korean Terrans like to stop at like the 66 workers or so, and then they just kind of do a big push off that, and then as they take a 4th behind it, they'll just like then they'll start making more workers. This is pretty random. This is honestly something that he was looking for, and I can tell you 100% that that was the case because I've also done the same thing. Like he just knows this is probably a prism coming for his main. So but sometimes Protoss players hide it like far back away, like over here, maybe even over here. So he kind of just dives all the way in. It's a little bit risky because sometimes people won't send it this way. They'll send it kind of like going this way, and then around like this, and then that kind of avoids this right this corner over here. But TY is maxing out here now, or close to maxing out, and he's gonna go for a push. Okay, big push, and I think this is where he's a little bit better. I think he was kind of struggling a little bit with the aggression from Classic, but I think if you let him play kind of this late game stuff, I think even if he's, you know, we can say that he's rusty, I still think he's pretty good at it because there's a lot of strategy. I think he is really good at that stuff, right? Again, some spotters here, but I really wish that he would have a bit more vision. Like this Zealot run by is pretty massive, and then he's getting counter-attacked here, and I don't think he knows it. Okay, now he does. Okay, so we got a base trade coming up here. Force to see is going to fly away. He's going to probably land the Vikings here or something. Okay, no. He's going to go straight for the production, which is, by the way, something you should always do. Just dive the production as soon as you can. Classic should probably do the same thing, which you'll see him do that right now. And, okay, this is actually a huge meme right now. And this kind of stuff always happens if you don't have spotters. And I actually think that this base trade is really good for Classic. You know, maybe he pops up a Dark Shrine on one of these bases or something, kind of like, or maybe even in the main. You know, if you force all the orbitals to lift off, it could be pretty nasty. 2 Liberators ain't that big of a deal. TY is going to send his starport units back, which I think is not bad, actually. The Colossus are basically guaranteed to die. There's so many Stalkers, and yeah, I mean, we're depowering the production. Got a lot of Biostuck here, and yeah, you actually can't go up there. There's not that many Stalkers at all. Wow. Okay, nice, really nice move to send those air units back. That's pretty crazy, actually. And he's like perfectly covering the ramp. TY can't actually build anything either. He's broke. Okay, there you go. He's going to blink on in here. He's going to start taking stuff out. But now the army supply is favoring TY pretty heavily. And I think that's pretty much it here. Wow, that's kind of... I feel like that was going to be anticlimactic. Like, I thought they were going to build it for this big macro game. Wrong. I don't know. Right now, my first impression so far, TY doesn't look bad, but I feel like it isn't like great either, if that makes any sense. And I do think this base trade didn't work out for Classic, more so because I feel like he just wasn't, like, back home. I don't know if it was just, like, he wasn't warping in anything, or he didn't maybe drop a Dark Shrine. I think if he had, like, dropped a Dark Shrine here, I guess some ghosts, that's a good amount of ghosts. Yeah, probably not. He's going to rebuild a base down here. He does have the Disruptors, though. The game's not over. With the Liberators dead, the Disruptors are pretty impactful, so he's going to wall this off. This is a massive meme. And this is actually a bit better for for Classic. Classic planted his Nexus at a fresher base, right? This base hasn't been mined from at all. This base has been mined pretty heavily, so, and with the mules, it's probably going to mine it even faster. Now, if the orbitals do get into the main, obviously there's still minerals here and minerals here, so he could actually start whipping in, or sorry, start dropping all these mules and getting all that money in pretty quickly, and he will be mining faster than Classic, unless he kills his command center, which it looks like he's actually going to kill it. Oh, okay, that's pretty nice. All right, so he kills that orbital, which is really, really good. You know, TY saves a lot of his production, but he already spent his mineral bank on this wall. You know, albeit he did build deep boots, so that's actually pretty helpful. And he's looking for that Nexus, and there he is. We see a recall coming from Classic, but what's he recalling? He recalled the probes from his main, so he can't recall his actual army. Oh man, that's actually extremely unlucky. Like, that just happened to line up with that. Okay, so TY is just gonna go up the next corner and kill the next base. I mean, he could cancel this, but I think if he cancels it, he won't have enough money. Right? Oh, no, I think he'll barely have enough money. Oh, no, he doesn't have enough money at all. Only 300 minerals, yeah. That's it. That's it. Wow. That, actually, there was a chance, I think, for him to still win this game. Right? If those two bases get to mining. And because he has so many workers, right? He has like 22 probes plus whatever ones were killed here. But now, there's no chance. I feel like he got pretty unlucky a few times. Like, not only with the build orders, per se. Like, I feel like the build orders favored TY a good bit. Although, like, Classic had a good, counter reaction to that. Or adjustment, I suppose. Like that whole recalling his army and then recalling his probes and the drop shows up. Yeah. All right. So looking not too shabby, but I'm not entirely convinced here. But we do have another game, so let's go ahead and check that one. All right, boys. We're here at game number 2. Apparently, I did not hit play because I'm a massive scum. All right, in the bottom right hand corner, TY. What am I doing this? Artosis literally said how Tasteless says we don't mess with player intros anymore. Why am I gonna do that? All right, we're here for business. Okay. SCP is going to go down the ramp. You guys already know who this is anyway. It's literally in his name. Barcode. That's who it is. Oh, okay. He's going for a proxy racks. All right, you guys want to hear something nasty about this map? If you're a Terran player, on this map, you can build like a proxy barracks here, for example. Right? It's super close, right? Because they could wall this off, obviously. But you can put it right here. It looks like he's faking it. But I'm going to tell you guys anyway. So if you build it right here, you can send a Reaper into the main like this. And because the barracks is so close, not only does that give you more time to kill probes, but even if you actually suck and you can't kill probes at all because you're bad and you can't land clicks with your mouse, the SCV that builds this barracks, you can go over here and build a bunker. And what ends up happening is Protoss has 2 problems. They either have to send the probe and the zealot to kill your SCV building the bunker, but if they do that, then your Reaper can just kill probes and you can just cancel the bunker. So it produces a dilemma, which is pretty nice. But he's not going to go for that. He's going to go for the fake proxy. I feel like he's doing builds that were like around when he was around. Like this fake proxy thing has been here for a while, so not too surprising to see. Also, should we play some music? There you go. Oh yeah. Okay, so the probe is going to come in here. We see a zealot response from Classic. Again, he's building the zealot because he doesn't know that it's a proxy. Okay. He just thinks, or let me rephrase that. He doesn't know that it's not on his side of the map. But he's still going to take a Nexus, which I really like this decision. And he's going to block this off with a probe. So his response right now, I think, is very nice. And I don't think he's overreacting. I really think that Protoss players who go 1 base, 2 gas, stuff like that, I think they're overreacting here. This is a perfect response from Classic so far. So very nice. Reaper's going to come into the main. And we're going to run in here. Okay. And we're going to kill a probe, right? So he just sends a probe in. Doesn't really throw. Okay, that was a bit of a meme. We get 1 probe. We force the zealot to be built. And it delays the Nexus a little bit. So not terrible, but obviously like you're not really getting much from here. I think in general, you maybe do want a little bit more from this. But at the level that TY is at, I just feel like the Protoss players have nailed down their response really well. And so there's absolutely no reason for you to expect an overreaction for the most part. So, okay, Zealot. Stargate again. No, Classic playing the Stargate, and TY is playing 2-2-1-1. Okay, yeah, this is some strategy stuff going on. I actually think he just knows how Classic plays, and Classic's not adjusting. Honestly, the best thing you could do against somebody who like has not been playing the game very long, or maybe has like their own set of builds, like this kind of thing, I think the best thing you could do, and against any matchup, any race, is just be aggressive. Like, you know, like imagine if Classic just 3 or 4 gate blink in here. That would be sick, right? But I feel like Stargate is letting TY get away with this, which is this build is really good against Stargate specifically. Like I can tell you 100%. I mean, the guy built a Cyclone right away. A lot of Protoss players, despite going double gas, they'll go into 4 gate blink. And before it was that they would go Stargate, but then they realized they could still defend a lot of this stuff, playing Twilight Robo 4 gate blink. And I mean, then you can just disregard this kind of stuff. So We're going to see Phoenix, which I'm not particularly a fan of, and we're either going to see Stim or Combat Shields, but if I had to guess, probably Stim. He's going to keep the Cyclone in the middle of the map and send the Reaper across the map. There's that Robo Baby getting thrown down. Or Robo Facility, sorry. So Robo Facility getting thrown down here, so it's going to be the same exact repeat as the last game. He sees the Adept, doesn't get to see the Stargate, though. I really think he could have ran past that if he wanted to. Oh, and there's that Combat Shield. Okay, so he's going to do a push here with Combat Shield Marine Tank, which is actually really good against Phoenix Robo. So this stuff is lining up really nicely again for TY. And, you know, I don't think it's fair to say it's lucky because I think that Classic does actually play like this reasonably often. You can kind of expect this, but kind of the same thing. Bro's build's just lining up. Like, he just got it down. The strategy part of the game, he's nailing it again. Look at him. Interesting depot placement. Also, I feel like it's like the Bermuda Triangle of buildings. Like, why does he build it this way? Like, I don't think there's any particular reason why you would build your buildings this way, actually. Like, from a strategical point of view. But I know somebody's going to watch this, going to go, Minx, he builds the barracks on the other side so that it's harder to scout, or some fucking shit like that. Okay, so Reaper's going to go into the main. We're going to see Robo Bay. And, yeah, I mean, he sees everything. So see Stargate, Robo Bay, everything. And he knows, like, he goes for it right away. He's like, this build is perfect. Combat Shields, all these Marines. Classic is taking a third. Man, look at this. He's got no units. Nothing. Dude, honestly, if he went Stim 2, it probably would have been just as good for him. eBay, interesting spot again. And Phoenix are going across the map. Dude, he has no idea. He has no idea. And he hasn't even seen the second ranks. He's just seen this. He actually hasn't even scouted that much. For a follow-up, he sees the Marines go across the map. He sees the Combat Shields. He should know what's happening now. He pulls back. Does he chrono? Yeah, he's already chrono this, but he can't use any more chrono. We're going to try to get that first tank. Okay, here I think TY fumbled. I think if these are a bit closer, or just wasn't as close, it would have been better. Now, that doesn't matter, though, because he's still doing a lot of damage. Okay, we need to pull back here. Uses the super battery, of course. Good call there. He's probably going to have to cancel this phase, though. Battery's going to go down right away. Yeah, man, this is pretty nasty. So, TY, these builds, lining up clean. Now, I love to see him start transitioning here. I think he's not in a position where he has to be super all-in. Like, if he starts to stim, takes a third gas, drops a Stargate. I'm sorry, Starport. Yeah, third rack, I think he's okay, but he's going to keep pushing here. And, yeah, I mean, he's trying his best. He's going to keep going in and gutting it. But, to no avail here. So, I think my sound might actually be low. So, I apologize for that if the game sounds low. Okay, it's going to come in here. He's going to start picking stuff out. And, yeah, I mean, I feel like he should just canceled it. It kind of, like, called it out as lost there. No SCVs being built. Now, this I'm not a fan of. I think he's done enough damage where if he was building SCVs this whole time, he actually would have more workers in Classic. And he would have kind of a transitioning point. Here, he doesn't have a third rack. He doesn't have a starport. I mean, yeah, starport. He doesn't have +1 coming on. Anything. Okay, drops a third command center. Yeah, okay. I do think he's a bit rusty for sure still. Which is understandable. Yeah, my initial analysis so far has just been, I haven't seen the other series that he's played because he has played other series. He played 2 TVZ series as well. And I haven't seen those, but judging from just TVP, I do feel like if he had played any other Protoss, like Creator, somebody a little bit more aggressive with their builds, I don't know how he would have fared, to be completely honest with you. Or even another Korean Terran. Don't know. Okay, so the Void Ray is going to come. Poke around these 3 Colossus. He's just going to further... Oh, what? I mean, he could just steal the third, too, no? Oh, interesting. He's going to 2 base all in. This could work because of how bad TY's transition is. I mean, literally, supply blocks. Again, no +1. Starport is just non-existent. Takes a hidden base as well. Although I don't know how you get out of this. I think the best thing he could do is just send these zealots like now. Although he doesn't have charge yet, but I think it might be fine. He dumps the chrono boost into charge. I think even without charge, he should just do it. Yeah, he's gonna do it. Okay, where are you sending these though? Can I see to click anywhere? No. Oh, this is so unlucky, dude. What? What is this random SCV going back home? Okay, he sees the Celis. No, go to the other side of the map. Just attack. Oh, dude, I don't like this, man. Okay, I'm just going to trap a tank. That's nice. Okay, the Marines are going to be forced to go back, but you're buying all this time. Look, more Marines coming out. Ah, and he doesn't even kill the tank. Dude, if he would have just gone this way, he would have actually been in such a good spot. Oh, boy. All right, well, Classic not really. He's doing a great job up here of managing this, I think. Like, he had the right idea. He had the setup, and I think the execution was the fumble here. Now, the hidden base is pretty good, but how do you get out of here? He could recall probes to this base. That's true. He's going to do that right now. Look at that. He's going to fire up some probes here. Okay, we're going to sell this again. I don't know. No, you can't counterattack anymore. He's going to anticipate it. I mean, sorry, there's not that much stuff here, I guess. That's a fat wood of mine shot, though. These Marines don't have +1, though. That's true. Good micro from TY. Oh, man. Yeah, those don't have any upgrades either, though, so they're going to die here. Okay, that's nice. Oh, the second disruptor didn't even kill off the tank. Oh, and he kills that observer. Damn. 2 disruptors kills the tank, but the second ball there didn't really line up. TY, can we macro behind this? Why do you have no SCVs, man? No Ghost Academy? Hello? Do we have concussive at least? No. I feel like behind this, if Classic took 2 bases, this base and this base, and just started building a bajillion probes, he could just win because he would just have more workers than TY and better rank ego. It's kind of, he's just basically... Okay, we have a 15-minute contain. Here we go. Cue the elevator music. Okay, he's gonna go for it. Wait, why does he go for it though? Oh, because this got caught. No. That's the problem with these moves. Like, the moves that he did, the hidden base and the hidden gateway and the build of Zealous, all really good. But as soon as you reveal them, it's over, right? Like, now it's going to be on TY's mind. He's going to be forced to try to break in here, which he probably will, actually. Just because all this other bio is missing. The Archons are nice. We don't have a Ghost Academy, and Classic's going to break out finally. And he's got that hidden base with, you know, definitely down on eco. Let's check. Okay, yep, down on eco. TY is going to get a drop into the main. There is no blink, unfortunately. So these stalkers won't even be able to snipe the medevacs as soon as they try to leave. This bio is going to go home. And can we pick up? We boost this away, perhaps. Okay, we do. No Vikings. Very nice. No ghosts. No nothing. Okay, we start a 4th base. Classic takes the 4th. I feel like he should just play the game out. I think he's going to attack, but I think he should just chrono 4 probes at a time. But I guess maybe he also doesn't know that he's actually not that far behind. Like, this is the 3rd base. Double medevac drop. Oh, he knows about this base. You notice he scans before he drops in, guys. Make sure you do that. It's important. Okay, he's just going to go for it here. I don't think he needed to do this, though. I don't think he was as behind as he thought, but it seems like... Oh, those 2 Novas whiffed. This Nova whiffed. It could have killed 2 tanks already. He's losing all his eco back home, though. He's got no money. He's not even mining. He's barely mining at all. Okay, he canceled something because he's got a bunch of money back. Oh, he canceled his base. Okay. Oh, it's so close. Despite everything, it's so close. Despite the amazing start TY had, it's actually still so close. And that's what I'm telling you guys. Like, you're not looking super great. I think Classic's just dead. Really, the problem with Classic can't really mine. And like, this is a good amount. That's 16 Marines, right? There's also a good amount of bio. And TY is still mining and producing. So if this is all that Classic has, you can't. It's just not enough. Void Ray even. He probably built that Void Ray to kill the medevacs as well. Man, I don't know. I don't know, guys. I'm not convinced. But it's nice to see him still having some cheeky builds and good strategy lined up. So hopefully you got to kind of explain how TY made it through. I think it's not as impressive as we probably would have wished, but hey, he made it in. If you're a Terran fan, I think it's a W in the end, and maybe some hopes that you don't have to be mechanical god to win, I guess. Not that he isn't or wasn't, but he still got some work to do. And if you guys enjoyed this video, feel free to let me know, and I'll do some more if that's what you want to do. And if you want access to these replays, by the way, the GSL does have a Patreon if you don't already know that, if you live under a rock. So you can find those there for just like $10 a month or something like that. About like $10 a month. You can snag some of these. But yeah, so that's going to be it for this video, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one.